There we are.
Episode 2.
Yeah, I'm gonna get really distracted by the window. Hey, look at the ducks.
Yeah, so we had a few minor / major technical
difficulties.
If the technical difficulties with a driving test, the 4 that we had would have gone down as major.
Yeah.
They would have failed, yeah. So there's a couple of bits that we lost, so we're going to go over again. So, firstly, if you could live anywhere in the world of Final Fantasy VII, where would you live?
Okay, so I'm still sticking with my original answer, which is Junon.
See, what I was thinking is, we've done this again.
Yeah.
You've got a chance to redeem yourself.
No.
And you're doubling down on Junon.
Yeah, I'm doubling down.
Wow. What are your reasons for Junon?
Because it's the closest to an actual city.
Do you think?
Yeah, you've got your shops and all stuff like that. You just need to put up with a few Shinra tits. Yeah. I think that's fine. We have to put up with a few tits living in Liverpool.
Yeah.
So, yeah.
Well, I've started to change mine actually this morning because I was listening to the soundtrack, obviously.
Okay.
I was listening to On Our Way, and I was thinking about that in Rebirth when you first, like after the opening, and you're in Calm. You come out into the Calm.
Calm is lovely, but it's too close to Midgar. I feel like it's a fake. A fake idyllicism.
Yeah, but it's still green. You've got all the green in it. It's not that affected by the Midgar, but I just love it. It's Venice, isn't it? Do you know what I mean?
No, it is lovely. It is lovely.
And if you had that, if you woke up every morning and there was just someone on the accordion playing On Our Way every day, well, you'd walking around. But I'm torn really between Calm, Costa del Sol, and Gongaga. But I think if I had to choose,
forgetting Costa del Sol. I
agree with you. Costa del Sol,
yeah. That's not.
It's more of a.
That's not a living place.
Yeah, I think you'd want to go there.
Unless you're Johnny.
Yeah, Johnny's.
Johnny.
In fact, if he's there, that seals it for me. I love Johnny. It reminds me of you actually a bit, Johnny. You've got a bit of Johnny about you.
Thanks, I think.
I don't know, I think they've done such a good job of building the world of it. It's there's a lot of places, later on, it's hard to see obviously what it's going to look like photorealistic, but even up in the north, by the Icicle Inn and all stuff like that, I think that's going to look amazing in the third game. But even that has a nice little cold winter retreat.
Be well too cold.
Yeah, but I love all that,
Nah.
Northern Europe and
not for me.
Iceland, I like all that stuff.
I mean, I haven't been. I want to go, but
Iceland.
Yeah.
I mean, neither have I.
Yeah.
But just see what it looks like. But Northern Europe, Northern Europe in general. Bit of New Zealand and that, it's that kind of glacial.
I do think for me it's I'd love to live in Gongaga, but let's be honest, I probably won't survive in a jungle.
That's still that's what I was thinking about Gongaga.
That's what I mean. Junon's got all your comforts. Yeah, really.
But in fairness, every location.
Oh yeah,
we're talking about fiends. We're dead either way.
Let's be honest, we're not, as much as we'd like to be, we're not going to be Cloud or Zach or anyone. We're going to be, we'd be lucky to be Shinra Grunt number 15. Never mind. Well, never mind anyone else.
That's just made me think of another question actually, and it seems like a silly question, but because we probably already know the answer, because it does actually relate to real life. We both go to the gym.
Mm-hmm.
We both work out and stuff like that. Would you take the Mako injections?
Ooh.
To become
that's
super powerful?
That's the
would
thing.
You take Genova cells to,
so
reach you?
That's the thing, isn't it? Right. So
basically, would you take steroids? We both don't.
But it's not. That's not the question, because people in the Final Fantasy VII universe, people in Gaia, they don't know the secret behind Mako infusion.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, whereas taking steroids. It's very well documented that your heart will explode.
Yeah. A lot of people don't know.
Your balls will shrink, your heart will explode.
But people don't know. People don't look into it. There's a lot of people who...
they're probably the people taking steroids.
Yeah, exactly. I see the video where it's like young lads, like lads who are like 19, 20, taking it because they feel like they've reached the peak of the physicality when it's, I mean, not at all, because they definitely haven't been working out long enough. Yeah.
No, but that's the thing, like, so, like, Maco's kind of just like this, you know, like, you take it, you become incredibly strong. There's no side effects or anything like that, and it's only, like, because we're in the main character's shoes, and, like, you know, we get to see behind the scenes of things that we know that, like, it's basically steroids, you will die. Like, and that's the thing. So, like, I don't know if I had no like idea that it could harm you. That'd probably be a Cloud or a Zach. I'd be like, yeah, give me that Sephiroth shit. But like, knowing what I know, then no. Like, and like, you know, in a way, Cloud was able to lift the Buster Sword without Mako and stuff. That's the strength I aspire to.
And then another one, favourite track.
Would you?
Would I?
Yeah.
No, definitely.
You can't just throw that question at me and not answer it yourself.
I don't think, I mean, it just came to you. I don't think it's a potentially.
Would you take steroids? Because I suspected it for you.
No, I mean, it wasn't a pre-planned question. It just came to me. But no, I wouldn't. No. Yeah, because it is just would you take steroids and it basically sorts off. Yeah. But no.
Even if it's the most sought after job, stuff like that. Like it's part of the requirements to be a soldier. You need to get Mako infused.
But it's the working for Shimna thing. I think would we be wise to the fact that they're bastards? Do you know what I mean? I like to think we would. Well, so I wouldn't want to work for them anyway. I'd be an Avalanche. Do you know what I mean?
But But that's what I mean. Like, but then you've got someone like Zach, who is literally like the goodest of good boys, and he was like, you know, but
again, it comes down to because he doesn't know. Like, it depends on what you know, doesn't it?
Yeah, and to be fair, the way that we are, we probably would end up in Avalanche and getting slaughtered.
We completely fucked the bombs up.
But literally. What's his name? Biggs.
Oh yeah.
Yeah, we'd be big.
Yeah, we'd be big.
Sitting on the edge of a Mako reactor.
No freedom fighter or terrorist group wants two bigs. And then also next question, what's your favourite track?
What's my favourite track? It's the Gongaga theme.
Is it like the whole, even like the original?
Nah, well, it's One Winged Angel. Yeah, it's got to be One Winged Angel. Like it's about the only, because like I've said I don't really listen to soundtracks, but I've started like getting into it more. One Winged Angel is the only thing that like was in a game soundtrack that would be in like me gym playlist and stuff like that. You know, like that.
The Advent Children version.
The Advent Children version, and even the normal orchestral.
If you're on a treadmill and the Advent Children version, and I think it's like 3 minutes. When it kicks in, and the guitar thingy, it's dangerous. Because I was doing that when I was
suddenly reaching Mac Jesus.
But you just go. Just fire the treadmill up to speed you've never heard.
17 miles an hour.
It's like that thing, isn't it? It's like a mother, you know, the whole thing where like a mother can lift a car to save a kid. I hear that One Winged Angel.
The adrenaline response. No, like that's followed me throughout since like the first time I heard it. And like that's what I mean. I think I heard One Winged Angel before I ever actually beat Sephiroth.
Oh, beat Sephiroth.
And like I just remember thinking, this is weird. This is, but like it's a good weird.
It's probably the most that you'd say. Like if the question was what's like an absolute like masterpiece. That like,
Yeah.
Like that is like a full on.
Well, I actually, weirdly enough, complete tangent here, but I think that's why I liked Kasabian so much as well.
Yeah,
like the whole like kind of orchestral weird things and like the weird vocals and stuff like that.
I think they were good at that with that album. That wasn't that popular as well. I think it was like the fourth album. What was it called? Is Velociraptor? That was what the album was called, wasn't it?
Oh,
there was some good orchestral experiments.
Yeah. No, but even like
Days Forgotten or Days I forget. Yeah, Days.
I don't think that was the name of it, but I do know what you mean.
Yeah. I haven't listened to it in a while, but I remember when that came, we would bang into them when that came out. And I remember it wasn't. I don't think it was like reviewed very well.
No, probably not.
I don't think, but I remember thinking that was cool for stuff like that.
Yeah, no, I loved that.
And
but
the earlier stuff.
With like
Club Foot.
And even like the album with Shoot the Runner has got one with like
Empire, I think. Yeah.
Has got one where it's just like very orchestral.
Yeah.
And stuff like that. But yeah, no, like so I would say One Winged Angel, probably. But man, I think the Gone Gaga theme literally only exited my brain about like last week, and then it got brought straight back in when we done this podcast. Yeah. So like, and I'd like as soon as I heard that, I think I texted you and was like, "Oh my god, Gone Gaga's theme! What is that?" Like, I needed to know everything. I needed to know what instrument is this. Like, what is that?
Why they force it doing that? Because it's the idea, like it's a jungle, and then you go, "I'm going to use a bagpipe." I think we spoke about it last week. Or an Irish version of the bagpipe. I still can't remember what it's called, but it's just a mad
that makes no sense.
And it's amazing.
Whoever thinks, like, you know what, would be perfect for a jungle, a hot jungle. Yeah. Instruments from some place that's raining 98% of the time. It's never hot. Yeah.
No, it is amazing. That was one of the ones that I think I texted you a couple of weeks ago, didn't I? I didn't listen to that for a while. Because you have to go on YouTube to listen to it, don't you? Because it's not on Spotify or anything. I hadn't listened to it, and then it came on YouTube. I think it's just like whatever I was watching, and something that came on next. And it was first thing in the morning as well. I was getting ready for work, and that came on, and I nearly burst into tears. It was like it's almost like I'd forgot about it. And then the second it kicks in and you hear it, like.
Well, this is the thing, right? I have never gone onto YouTube to listen to that song, but it's stuck in my. I know every beat. I know every strange word sung by the kids. I know all of it. Yeah. And I've never once had to go on and like try and look it up or anything like that. Like that's how I know that's probably my favourite from Rebirth, and like a lot of them are bangers. Like, let's be honest, Bow Wow Wow. Bow Wow Wow. But like everything, I like everything on that track. Yeah. But Gone Gaga's stuck with me. Yeah. It's stuck with me the same way One Winged Angel stuck with me. So
I think as well, even going back to the original and that, it's so diverse that it's hard to pick. It's hard to pick one, and I think the reason why I listen to Final Fantasy VII soundtrack, either from the OG or the new one, genuinely pretty much every day, like walking down to meet you before. Yeah. That's what I had. That's all I had on. Is because of how diverse it is. So like there is a song for every mood, no matter how you feel or whatever.
I've been getting into Hollow as well, haven't I?
Yeah, Hollow.
That's dangerous.
But there is one for every like if you feel you're in the gym or you're going for a run or you're just feeling a bit, I don't know, a bit thingy, you've got Fight On. You're feeling a bit golden salsa.
Fight On as well. Fight On is just amazing.
Fight On is like.
There's too many. You can't ask for a favourite. Final Fantasy VII soundtrack.
No. That's what I mean. It's just
you've basically got to ask what's your favourite battle soundtrack, what's your favourite open world soundtrack, what's your favourite.
I know, but also like when you're sad.
Your favourite boss soundtrack.
Yeah, but when you're sad, what you listen to. When you're happy, what you listen to. Exactly. But yeah, I think that's it for the questions.
Is it? You still haven't answered your own question. What's your favourite?
Oh, my favourite?
Yeah.
But that's what I mean. It's hard to say.
Stop being a host, lad.
Yeah. It's hard to say. Like, Fight On's my most listened to. I'd say that. Like, that's, aside from my opinion, that's statistically my favourite. But it's hard. It is hard. Tifa's theme, obviously, Aerith's theme, amazing. Midnight Rendezvous from Remake is incredible. The Corporation Records or something it's called, or Sugar Archives. It's a lovely piece of classical music. There's so many. Let the Battles Begin as well. But yeah, I'd have to say, Fight On is statistically.
I'd love to do it like a Final Fantasy VII themed drinking game.
Yeah.
Called Let the Battles Be Gin.
You should do that.
I don't know if I've stole that from somewhere, but you know what, I'm claiming it. That's completely original.
I mean, if anyone sees it, they'll let you know.
I know, true. Hopefully I get away with that one with obscurity.
There we are. So we've went through some of the stuff that we went through the other day, but couldn't use because of audio problems.
Yep. And now we've got a cuppa.
We've got a cup of tea now,
Just addressing the...
Well, that's another reason why there was several issues the other day, because we had too many beers, I think. So
probably. First podcast now.
So do you want to talk about what... a bit more why we're doing a podcast?
Yeah.
Because no one's doing podcasts.
Yeah, no one's doing podcasts.
I've seen probably about 2 other people on the planet doing a podcast.
You know who doesn't do enough podcasts? White men.
White men, yeah.
White men don't do enough podcasts.
I sit at home, I always think, I just wish I had the opinions of white men.
Yeah, same. You know, just there's not enough, is there? No. Well, I mean, like when you look at like who is doing podcasts and stuff, I think it's safe to assume that we skew a little bit on the older side. Than a few of them.
Than
a few of them.
Joe Rogan's old. Joe Rogan.
Old jazz. Alright then. Final Fantasy podcast, video game podcast. That not whatever. Whatever Joe Rogan's doing.
No, I think the people we watch are older than us. I think.
Yeah.
I mean, Max definitely isn't.
See, I don't even want to attempt to guess Max's age, because
he's older than us.
Yeah.
He's in his 30s.
Yeah, I mean, he's got to be, hasn't he? But all right then. So what are we younger? You've ruined me. You've ruined me unique selling point. Completely ruined it. No, well, we've just got like different circumstances, haven't we, and stuff like that. You know, we grew up in Liverpool and stuff. Had to keep a lot of like this nerdiness in for years, and like whenever we talk about Final Fantasy, we always tend to come up with like mad theories and stuff, don't we? So like it's kind of just a way to get them out there, isn't it? Because like, well, as I said, from the first Queen's Blood battle, I remember saying to you, this is going to be bigger than what it is, and I literally, I've got the receipts to say that, like, I've got a theory about this, but I'm not going to say anything until I've had a few more, until like it's developed a little bit more, because like from the second I played Queen's Blood, I knew this has got something to do with Genova, and then like they don't outright say it, but it's definitely it's basically
it was
the story
confirmed afterwards, wasn't it?
The Ultimate. Oh, was it one of the developers as well?
Sure,
I thought it was in the Ultimate, but that's what I mean. Like, and we were talking about that for months. Well, not months, but like probably like a month before anybody else even like mentioned anything about it. So like, I should have been the first.
I do remember like the second you said it, I was like straight away. I was like, I think you're spot on.
Yeah.
And then as it goes on, and you see bits more revealed, I was like, the bastard, he's got that right from the very first day. Although
I will admit, like, I think I did come up with a few like stupid theories, didn't I? But like, but the story was just mad, like where it was going with Tifa and stuff like that.
Oh yeah, you thought Tifa was Genova.
Yeah, I thought at some point I thought everyone's Genova.
Never know.
Maybe that's my unique selling point. I'm that paranoid. I don't have a theory for everything.
Because it was out of like you were panicking because Tifa's your favourite.
Absolute favourite, yeah.
So you were panicking, thinking...
I don't think it's Zach, but you know.
Yeah. You're like, I hope they don't really either. But yeah, I think that, and then also I think for me as well, it is like looking at all like watching a lot of people streaming as well, because we got to a stage, didn't we, where as we were playing it, we were watching people up to the same level. Obviously, we were watching a lot of Max Dude, obviously. And I just love the whole sort of community around it.
Yeah.
Like I say, for me, it's the first time I've like properly been a massive fan of something. And there's a lot of things I love. There's a lot of different, there's a lot of films I love and all that type of things, and different medias. But outside of like being a fan of Liverpool Football Club or whatever, it's the first time where I've been like, this is amazing. And then seeing the sort of community around it, there's a lot of like bad stuff with it as well, like anything else, you know. There's a lot of like idiots or people who want to ruin other people's fun or whatever. But I love that. I just love watching people streaming and then seeing the chats come in and all that kind of thing. So I think it's just sort of one of them as well, where you just, I don't know, it's like a community you want to be part of as well. And I think, I don't think it's that we think our opinions are better than everyone else's either. I think it's just, it's a different perspective, innit? Yeah. And I think like I sort of, as we go on with this as well, I want to go into like the sort of like why it sort of means a lot to us and stuff like that, and the sort of meanings behind it.
Well, that's the thing as well. Like, you know, you're a filmographer amongst many other
failed attempts.
Many of the specialties as well, and like I've been into art and like been an illustrator for like a long time and stuff. So like,
I mean, you're the sword international a few years ago.
And like that's what I mean. It just brings like a bit more of like a creative thing to it as well. That like I kind of want to explore. Like I love like all the visual storytelling and stuff like that.
But that's it. That's what I mean. We've got like a different perspective as well from other people of why obviously we like love it so much. But I think one of the things we were going to talk about as well was,
well, I was going to say, speaking of things that you love, what did you love about Rebirth then?
I mean, a million things, but one of the main ones. I mean, it's not the main thing I love,
but before you do that. No, I had to get that in just to be really annoying to anybody that's listening or watching. Just to prove that I can actually.
Any of the nice people who've actually decided to listen.
Yeah. But no, just to prove that I can actually take a sip of a cup of tea without making that noise.
One of the things. Surprisingly,
you can edit that out if you want.
I'll leave it in. Letting everyone know you're trying to sabotage the podcast on the second episode. So one of the things, so Rebirth, you have the opening, unreal. We'll get to that later or another time, whatever. The most cinematic game and opening I've seen. I'm so excited for it. You play through the Nibelheim.
I actually can't believe the opening of Rebirth, to be perfectly honest.
It's proper unreal. But like the whole 2 hours that into the Nibelheim flashback, everything, and then you have like a bit of moment to sort of take a breath, don't you? You wake up in calm, and then I think back to this because this is hilarious. So this is obviously day one of playing the game. You have that 2 hours, and I'm like that is insane. Well, I've just witnessed amazing stuff. But your blood's flowing and all that, and then it's perfect. You have a moment to just sort of to digest it. Wake up in calm, you open the door, and then you get a message. There's a little thing on the door, and it's a pack of cards, and it says, Queen's Blood, talk you through how to play it. And I remember thinking, this is going to ruin the game. I was like, because I remember one of the things about the when I had a little go with The Witcher 3, I hated the card game in it initially. And I was like,
that's quite a hot take there.
But
people love it.
I to be honest, going back at it, I'd probably love it if I went back at it now. I think it was just like, again, it was when I played The Witcher 3, I hadn't played a game in a few years, I don't think. So I was trying to get back into gaming, and it was just too much. Was that your Chinese, by the way?
No, which?
There was a squeak. It sounded like a fart, but I don't think it was.
No.
It's making me think it was a fart.
I think it might have been the ring. I think the ring hit the...
Oh, yeah. I was going to say, that'll definitely come up on the audio, so I wanted to... I wanted to make a point of it, because people listening think you've just shit your pants.
I'll take it off, because it keeps making noise anyway. So.
No, that's what it's the first time, really. Anyway, yeah, so I seen that, and I was like, oh, is this going to be too much? You know, because I'm going to want to do everything.
Yeah.
And it's like, is this not that it falls out that they've ruined the game, but I just thought for me personally, I was like, oh, is this going to be like a nuisance? And then I played the first. Like obviously you do the tutorial. I was like, I don't fully get what this is and all that. But you go down, and then Crybaby Ned. It's the first one, isn't it? Yeah. You see Crybaby Ned, and I love that. So that as a separate thing. That's your first interaction, or my first interaction with the NPC. Mm-hmm. And straight away I thought, this is like to sort of give an NPC that much character, and how silly it is. It brought back all the silliness from the original and all that. I thought this game is just going to be everything like I wanted and more. But then you play Queen's Blood, I'm like, okay, it's not too bad, I'm getting the hang of it. And then you were helping me out with it, weren't you? Because I was like, how'd you play this? You were messaging me saying, just bum rushing or whatever. That was your tactic initially, until you get replacement cards and then you have to change the tactics up.
No, my tactic has always just been bum rush. It works like 70% of the time. It works. 70% of the time it works every time.
But yeah, so, and then as it went on, like every time I got to a new region, the first thing I did was Queen's Blood, because I fell in love with this. I was so obsessed with it. And when it was coming to an end, I was like, please add in stuff. And I think there was talk early on, wasn't there, where they were saying they're not going to do a DLC for Rebirth. But then he said at one point he might do a Queen's Blood. And I was like,
really?
Give me that.
I don't
know if it's rumours.
But no, that would be amazing.
Yeah, like, but it was just funny going from that, where I was like, to it being one of the things I loved most about the game was just playing, like, I just become obsessed with it. I just sat there for ages.
I'm pretty sure you've gone back after finishing it just to play Queen's
Blood.
I'm
going to do a stream of just going through all the Queen's Blood matches. But I absolutely loved it, and I think it was just like a nice added thing. And I know, like, I've seen some people had a problem with the amount of mini games in them. Some are better than others. I loved the fact, even the ones I didn't like, I loved that there was that much in it. I think I sort of like, it was hard for us, wasn't it? Because we wanted to avoid spoilers. But at the same time, you want to make the most of the game. So you're sort of half trying to complete it as quick as possible, but half not, because you want to think it. It took us 6 weeks, didn't it? And
the way that it worked with us as well was I kept on going ahead of you, didn't I, in the story? But then you'd catch up, because I'd get to a new area and do every complete every mini game, like even the frog jump. I had to complete that and everything. But like I'd absolutely complete every mini game, and then you'd catch up, and then like luckily I'd go back ahead or something like that until we went to Dublin, weren't it? And then I'm pretty sure you stayed ahead of me.
No, and then you went back.
Oh, did I? Yeah,
you went back ahead. Because well, the reason why I got ahead in Dublin was because you spent 5 hours just doing Tifa's sit-up. I think that was generally the...
It was only 3 hours, really.
Because then you were playing it, and I remember messaging you, and you'd sent me a message, like, when I first started. We both got on it. So, like, because we would text each other, wouldn't we, saying, are you going on Rebirth now, or whatever. So, you'd text me saying you just got on it. I went on it, and then within half an hour in, you were like, I'm doing Tifa's sit-up challenge. I was like, oh, cool. And then I'm carrying on doing what I'm doing with the story and all that. Because I thought, I don't know if I was up to that point yet. I think I was in Costa del Sol, but I hadn't got out into the Corel region. And then you were like, it was literally, I think it was hours later. You're like, oh, finally, I've just completed. I was like, you've been doing that this whole time. How have you even done it? Repetition? Even the music and that, didn't it not get to you?
Nah, I really enjoyed it, and not for the obvious reasons.
I mean, that is like... I mean, I didn't spend that long on any other minigame.
It did.
In one go?
Yeah, the Chocobo one. I think I spent longer on that. With the you need to fly through the rings. Yeah, that was my most hated minigame. Yeah, but like I still enjoyed that.
That got me. That one. Yeah. To be fair, that was the first point where one of them pissed me off.
Yeah.
I think I didn't like the boxing one in the Gold Saucer. The brawler.
Oh, see, I did. I really enjoyed
I didn't like.
that.
I just couldn't. I just couldn't get.
But I found no way to choose the hard ones with accidentally. But then I found out, that is like a strat people use. Just pausing as they do it. But
I wasn't a massive fan of that one. That's what I mean. There was some. That's probably my least favourite actually. The 3D brawler. I like the flying one, but I just think there's certain points where it was like ridiculously difficult. But I liked it, but to be honest, I liked it about it. I liked the challenge of all of it. Like I say again, for me, do you know what I mean? It's the last game I completed months ago, so I haven't played. I think the only game I've played since is the Final Fantasy VII original, which I haven't completed yet. But I went through. You
need to get on to Final Fantasy 16.
Yeah, well. I'm gonna start.
Then you'll quickly realise why Clive is possibly the best character.
I want to go through as well and play 8, 9, 10. And potentially 10 Part 2. Yeah. But
I tried 10 Part 2. Recently, and it was difficult. Like.
I remember I loved that when I was a kid.
Yeah.
But
I don't know, like it just didn't resonate with me this time. But it's fun to play, but like. It seems like there's just too much. Like I'm a completionist, aren't I? Like I like to do well as you learned. Like I will sit there for like pretty much 5 hours and try and complete something before moving on as well. Final Fantasy X-2, there's just too much. Like you need to talk to like random NPC that only shows up every 3 screens or something,
right?
To get like 100%. And
really?
And and it's like you need to talk to them so that like someone appears 14 hours down the line and gives you an item and stuff like that. You know what I mean? Like it's all mad stuff. Like I even following a guide, I was like, no, like this is just insane. So
no, I think I think like Rebirth with the amount of stuff it had in it was was incredible. And like I say, I loved it because I wanted to drag it out as much as I possibly could. So I liked all the mini games. I liked the challenges of them.
I think one of the things I enjoyed the most was probably whenever we'd get to a new area and we'd be like, it's bigger. Like this has got to be like the last area because it's so big. And then like the next area was just like it's fucking big. Like how?
It felt like Sound Samurai as well. It just got better and better. It was just like the experience just kept on getting enhanced, and like that was the thing throughout it. And again, going back to that opening, when I'd finished that and I seen and you get to Calm and all that kind of thing, I was worried because I was like, they've set the bar so high. Literally straight away.
I thought Grasslands would be like the biggest area, and then we get like smaller areas and stuff like that.
But just in terms of the quality of the game and how good the game was, I was like, it can't keep up being that good. Like it's going to be like a dip, and it just wasn't. It just kept on getting better and better and better. And the only time in the game where I thought, where it entered in, the idea entered into me head that this isn't like the most fun ever, was the bit with Kate Sith where you're throwing the boxes in the mansion. That was the first point, and bear in mind that's towards the very end of the game. That was the first point where I was like this isn't the best thing I've ever experienced. Even that, it wasn't bad. It just wasn't as, because everything else was so amazing. But like it was that, wasn't it? You go to a new region and you're thinking they'd have a new track. It'd be like, this is amazing. And then I see how big it is.
Like even after Gongaga and being like blown away with the Gongaga theme, and you got to Cosmo Canyon, and I was like, I didn't realise I needed a country version of this song. And like it was just lovely after Gongaga, you know, like giving it all the biggin and everything. This is the and then like just like a little dinky tune. It was like
I loved it, but I think what they did amazing in Rebirth, which I thought they did really well in Remake, but they just upped the game. I mean, I think they upped the game with everything in Rebirth, but the character development and the relationships, aside from actually having the relationship, what do you call it, meter thing, like, which was good, which was brilliant to sort of you know, so you're involved in actually how well you build relationships with people.
Unless you've been nice to Nanaki constantly, and then like me, you're like, oh my god, I'm gonna get the date with Nanaki. But luckily salvaged it because I was just an absolute twat at the very end. But felt really bad saying that to him, like in Nibelheim. Like, you know.
Yeah, that is a shitty thing to say.
Yeah. I was like, oh.
Yeah. But yeah,
it's like being nasty to your dog. It just doesn't come naturally.
But I think the character development, and the first time I sort of like thought this is like a new level was the Bow Wow Wow bit with Sam, the dog running. But the character development with Barry, while you're just doing the side mission, the silly music on, great music, but silly music, and then you've got Barry like crying about Marlene and being a father, and it's like. Wow, like it's just, and that's what I mean in terms of like, I would have went into it, even if the game was bad, because I love Final Fantasy VII so much, I would have done everything anyway, but because of how good it was, like I wanted to do
felt like
every single little bit,
and that's one thing, like I will say that I really like about the like remake and the re-trilogy, is that it's almost like they've took Final Fantasy VII, which, let's be honest, like, even though it like, you know, touches upon a lot of hard subjects and stuff like that, it is still like a game for teenagers, essentially. You know, I think what they've done with the re-trilogy is they've kind of gone like, well, the people who played that were kids and teenagers, so we'll boost everything up in like the maturity level. Because now then people are going to be like grown-ups. So we're going to tackle actual grown-up feelings, thoughts and stuff like that in the characters that we didn't get to explore originally. And like, I think that is like just a really lovely way to do everything.
To be fair, I think did them in the original, but I just think with the limitations, I think they've basically just fleshed everything out. I seen there's a fellow I watch. I don't know if you've seen him. I think I've mentioned him before. Is I think his name's Philip Hartshorn. He's a filmmaker, and he was speaking about it, and he said the best way of describing the remake trilogy is it's basically a director's cut of the original game. I know there's the odd change with the whispers and stuff that a thingy, but he said it's basically just a director's cut, and I think that's the best way, like for me looking at it. It's like it's the same game and it's the same themes, same characters, but they've just fleshed them out so much, and it's like you don't realise until you go back and play the original as well how much if it was in your imagination, like you fill so many gaps because it's basically it's largely a book because it's sort of like it's reading, there's no dialogue or anything, you're reading a lot as you're going through. And you're sort of building these characters yourself from what you've got, whereas they've obviously took that and just fleshed them out into a different thing. And like, it's, I just think it's the way they've done it is brilliant. And and I think they've been able to go into the themes a bit more, so it does feel a bit more adult and a bit more mature in terms of like, you know, things going on in life. But I think that from day one, and I think we spoke a little bit about it the other day, was when I was a kid, the whole sort of battle of good and evil, and like the evil corporation, and you know, actually bleeding the planet. And unfortunately, like it's more relevant now than it even was when it first came out. And I think that's probably why as well when you play it now, it sort of hits harder again, because it's like the world is in that respect anyway, climate change and stuff like that, it sort of seems to be in a worse position than what it was nearly 30 years ago when the original came out. So I think they've done a good job again in Rebirth and going into, or in Remake really, with obviously all the Mako stuff with the Mako plants and that, but Mako reactors, but even the Mako springs and stuff like that, the way that like that's like a naturally formed thing, like I think that looks amazing, and like they've gone into it a lot more than like they did. And I think like one of the, again, like first things I thought in Khan and getting onto the Mako springs as well was, if you're doing a game about like the world ending in any way, someone destroying the world, whether it's Shinra or Sephiroth's going to literally put a meteor on it or whatever, you need to sort of do a good job of showing what you're trying to save. If you're the character saving the world. And I think a lot of disaster movies, that's the main... Because I love those types of movies, but it's also at the same time understanding they're not amazing stories or in character development. But you've got to do a really good job of making everyone understand, look, this is what you're fighting for here.
Yeah.
And they do that really well. And they do that well with the sort of... making the Macho's almost like a character in it, really. And like, I mean, literally sort of through the life, like obviously it's the live stream, isn't it? And the springs are a brilliant way of adding to that, like you say, because again, it's a thing where it's like, see this beautiful thing here with the live stream theme on, and it's all like majestic and amazing. That's what you're destroying by sucking it out of the air.
Do you not think as well that like everything that you're saying is what they've done with Aerith as well? Whereas like in the original, like she's there for a bit. She's like, you know, she is a character. She gets like bits, but then she's dead, and then like you move on. Whereas in like remaking Rebirth, it's showing you much more of Aerith, and it's like, look at what you wanted to save. And then unfortunately you probably didn't get to save her still. But like it like there's a very big parallel between like what you're saying about like, you know, the planet, the Macho, the live stream and stuff like that, and Aerith. It's great storytelling, because that's what she represents. She exactly, is literally, you meet her, she's got a flower, which sounds a bit like an innuendo, but she's literally got a flower, and she's the only person who can grow flowers in Midgard and all that type of thing. It's like she literally represents the sort of purity and like what you are, what you're fighting for. And again, mate, like going like I've never thought of it that way, but even like the symbolism of her dying is like the planet dying. Do you know what I mean? And also the fact that it's technically, at least in the original, not Sephiroth that kills her. It's Jenova, really. It's not Sephiroth's physical form that kills her. I don't know, that I might be wrong, but it's Jenova, and Jenova's killing the planet. It's Jenova that's originally, at least anyway, destroying the planet before Sephiroth decides he wants to as well, because he's read some books. He's a mummy's boy.
So, if you had to pick a mode of transport from the world of Final Fantasy VII, what would you pick? Why?
I don't know. I'm a bit torn. I love Chocobos. That is why we're called the Chocobros. Yeah. I do love Chocobos, but the buggy is so good. The buggy is so good, and like you can never flip the thing. And like you can just get in, just go wherever you want. I love the buggy. But that's just remake, isn't it? Let's be perfectly honest. Is the question for just remake, or like all of Final Fantasy VII? All of Final Fantasy, or all of Final Fantasy VII? I don't know. It would be really fun to like ride in the sky on a boat, like which is essentially what High Wind is. But I don't know. I like all of them. I like all of them. I'd go Chocobo. Because you've got a mate as well, haven't you? It's like the whole horse thing. But one that can obviously, like the one in Nibelheim, in Rebirth, one that can travel the water as well. No, well, that's, if I had to pick one, it would be the Nibelheim, the blue Chocobo. Like, the square thing. 100%. Never call it. I feel violated. Selena the square thing. It gets worse. I'd go with that. I'd love it because you've got a pet, haven't you? No, and like that to me kind of combines two things that I think I'd like. Like Chocobo, you've got like a cute little friend with you, like to keep you sane. But then you've also got the like being able to fly through the air for like short bouts and stuff over water, like that's fun. And even on land, you can like make it go up. Because like I found I just completely stopped letting it walk up walls. I was like, nah, like let's get you flying up these. So in terms of transport,
Part 3 is going to have your favourite mode of transport then?
Possibly, like, with the high wind. I mean, we'll have to see how that works. But like, with how good the tiny Bronco is, with how good the buggy is.
The game overall is.
I mean, yeah, the game overall is like amazing. But like the buggy blew me away. Like it absolutely did. And like even the tiny Bronco on the water, like that works so well. Like once you get the hang of it, it's so good. It's setting really big expectations for the high wind, which I have every faith that they'll hit them like.
But that's what I mean about the game in general. I think like the expectations after remake were massive, and they
absolutely smashed it.
So I think they'll do it again. There's that, and then another big one's obviously the summons. If they could do them in a different way, that's the one thing, isn't it? That we both from Rebirth is like.
I remember I'd explored nearly all of the grasslands, and I remember saying to you, I think I found the place where we fight Titan.
Yeah, and you're dead excited.
And I was so excited to fight Titan, and like I even said to you, like, I'm gonna go do some other stuff. Yeah. Because I feel like I'm not like at a high enough level to fight Titan yet and stuff like that. Like even though I thought it's only gonna be like a weaker version or something like that, I was like, this will still be hard, I'll have to go do some other stuff. And when I got there, and it was just a ring that you press buttons on. Like, don't get me wrong, I still enjoyed that, but like I was ready for that fight, and like it was a big cave and everything. I was like, this is it, like this is gonna be amazing. I'm hoping that they were, because like we've talked about this before, where you kind of look at some of the things that they've done in Rebirth and you think, are they just holding things back for the final game? Because you can't make the second game like the best experience and then just have the last game be the same but just slightly different.
Which is why I think at the end in the way
like, so I am really hoping that like in the next one it's kind of like there's no Chadley giving you the materia or anything like that. But Chadley can still give you the materia. And by the way, this might be a hot take as well, but like, didn't mind Chadley.
Oh,
everyone hated him.
I like Chadley.
I quite like the guy. Yeah.
I like him. I sort of understand like he comes up too often. Every time you do, and he comes up and you can. It does sort of.
I kind of like that.
I like him, and I liked him and Mai.
Even with Mai. Like, people seem to find her annoying, like, as she's talking over. I wouldn't start a fight until she's told me, like, the ecology of what I'm about to go slaughter. Because most of the time, she gives you the answers that you need without even using the, is it scan? Assess, RSS, yes. Without the assess materia. Like, you can go in and be like, oh, she said that like the spit venom, so I'm probably gonna get poisoned by this thing. And like, they've got an aversion to fire, right? Oh, okay, I know to use fire without using assess.
I liked it. Well, that's what I mean. That I wouldn't change. I'd sort of move that. So I'd move the big sort of boss battles that they have in each region. So where you fight like the Mind Flare, for example, or the Jabberwock. Just replace that with summons. And then have, because you're just fighting a bit, because it's a variant, she always says, Mai, doesn't she? It's a variant. So the fights that you have, the fiends that you run into that are part of the intel, are variants of fiends that you run into anyway. So just make the where you've got the fiend intel now, make that like stuff like the Jabberwock, Mind Flare, big fights like that. And then the bigger fights are the summons. I think
I think that's a really good way of progressing it as well, because it basically moves everything down a tier, but like to where it probably should have been. Because
the random, I know they're like variants or whatever, but you're fighting those anyway. And just have variants, because you're not just have variants throughout the region anyway.
Exactly.
And then
that's a natural way to progress the difficulty as well. Like, so for the next one, you're not only going to be fighting normal fiends, but there's going to be variant fiends as well that are going to be around, just knocking around. Basically means you need to switch up your style or something like that when you.
Because that's the thing where you sort of the fiends aren't challenging. So it could make the random encounters more challenging. And then you've got a good way of fighting the summons, because at the very minimum, if they're going to keep it with the combat simulator, at least give it a different background. Give it a cool background for each one. And I know, like, I
don't even want to put that thought into into the live stream.
Well, if they're going but if they're going to do that, they might as well just have it at a location anyway. I think it's one of them as well, where it's like, you can't moan about it too much, because there's that much in the game. You can't do everything. Do you know what I mean? And it's only a small thing that I think, you know, like, would enhance the game, definitely. But
that's the thing. No, I feel like, particularly for going and gathering the summons and stuff like that, it would improve that exponentially. Like, instead of it just being like, again, people are sick of the mini games. Instead of it just being another mini game, like, you go round to the shrines, you need to maybe fight like a smaller version or something like that of the summon, or like, you know, like Titan might be able to summon golems, like earth golems that you need to fight, and like, probably not Titan, because we're probably not getting another Titan summon, but like, the summons can basically be like, you know, these are things that you need to fight. You get an item from them, and then depending on how many items you've got, the summon that you fight is weakened by them items. So it works functionally the same way as going around and, you know, doing a mini game. But now it's like actual content. It's actual fighting. And based on how many you do, the summon becomes weaker. And then you can challenge it again with Chadley and fight the full strength version, or maybe even like a overpowered version. You know, like, he does something and it's like, I've tweaked it to unlock the last level of like the materia. You need to fight the overpowered version. And then, like just more, you know, like, rather than just it all being Chadley. I do think that that definitely improve it, and I think it doesn't feel like it'd have to be a massive change or a massive thing that they add, because, like I say, you're just replacing something that's already there anyway. Do you know what I mean? You're fighting the summon anyway. Just pick the summon up and put them in the real world rather than thinking. I don't know anything about game development, so I don't know if that is a big thing. It doesn't feel like it'd be a massive thing. No, and that's what I mean. Like, that's where I think it's really smart the way that they've done everything, because you can realistically see them just bumping everything down a peg. Like, that would make the most sense.
I feel like as well, some things, definitely when I was playing Rebirth, I was like, the teasing me here. And there was a lot, like even like flying the tiny Bronco a little bit. For a second, it's like it felt like there was a few moments like that where it's like a wink. You know,
it's like they're showing you, like, we can get something in here, and like, we can give you limited control over it and stuff like that. And you can see this is a map that you can interact with and stuff, and like, that was really exciting. I thought, as wow, like, what's happening here? But
because they'll know, because they won't want to, because they would have known as well. The jump from Remake to Rebirth is massive. And that's not me saying. Remake was my favourite game when I played that. And then Rebirth overtook it. I absolutely love, like, and even still now, I love Remake. I think it's an amazing game, an incredible game. But the jump is so big, just in the size and the scale and the quality of the game, and they've just doubled down on everything they did well in Remake and took out the things they didn't do too well or whatever. So I think to get a jump like that again, you're going to have to hold some things back.
And I've got every faith in this team as well, because like, they're keeping the same team and stuff like that. Like, it's never happened. I think we're basically seeing proper iteration. Like, the way it's supposed to be, the same people working on something and making it better, and then possibly even making it better again. But
and I think as well, that's what's happened. I do think that's definitely what's happened with the ending. I think I understand people not liking it. Like, I get it. I sort of, and I understand the confusion. I was a bit confused as well when I first played through it.
When I finished it, I said to you, like, I don't even know what's
happened. I was like, is she, isn't she, or whatever. But I think, again, that's a deliberate thing to have the peak of the game and the moment that you've been waiting for in the third and final game, in probably the live stream thing. Because I think the main thing that I got, the first thing of thought when it was all happening, the fact you didn't get the burial scene is massive. It's just massive. The plan, they know what, I feel like they know what they're doing. We're not going to know until obviously it comes out. But I feel like that's another thing as well, where it's like, we sort of almost want to hold a couple of things back to make sure the third and final one isn't like the ultimate game. That's sort of what, and like I say, early on in Rebirth, I felt that there was certain things where I was just like, feels like they're teasing me for like the third one.
I do remember you saying, like, even before Gone Gagger or something, you were like, it feels like this is like a tease.
Yeah, and I felt, I might be wrong, but I felt like that with Gilgamesh as a big sand monster. That was one of the moments where I was like, are they teasing like how the weapons could work?
Weapons,
and that was the only, I was a little disappointed as well that I wanted to fight him in that form. You know,
I thought we were going to.
Is that a thing where they're like, we have got the capability of doing that, but you're not getting it until the final game, because then because if they give you that, then because I might be completely talking out my ass, but if they give you all this stuff in one game, when you get it again in another game, it's not like you sort of, I don't know if I'd necessarily be, but you can I could sort of see a world in which loads of people are disappointed. It's like, we fought a big giant thing in that game. Well, we already got her death scene as it was in the original, you know, she is dead and all that. Whereas they leave you you're still left with loads of questions story-wise, and you're still left with all these little bits that could be improved upon. But on the other hand, I think with the summons, I've got a feeling that, like, unfortunately, I do feel like they'll keep it the same. To not break the continuity of it. I think, and I also think that obviously with the scene with Hojo and Chadley, they're obviously cooking something up with that anyway. That might explain why the summons were done there. Maybe I don't know.
But like counterpoint as well. I also feel like we've kind of got every, I want to say like primal summon, but like we've got every like kind of summon that's like, you know, normal. Even Bahamut's Arisen. That description is like, it's a more like a more, what's the word I'm looking for, like a regressed version of Bahamut, you know what I mean? It's like a ancient version of Bahamut, you know. For the next game, like, the summons basically going to be like, these are brand new summons that no one's ever, you know, like, come across. You know, like we've like kind of discovered them as a party or something like that, and that's how we can kind of like break it away. We've got another version of Bahamut coming, and like, you can't just go, oh well, this is an even ancient version of Bahamut, like that everyone knew about it anyway. Like it could be like, oh, we've discovered Bahamut.
That's perfect, because that was my main reason for thinking I don't think they will do it, because there's no, it'd be like a narrative break, but that's a brilliant way of doing it. It'd be like, this is all new, like this is new, so Chadley wouldn't have the capabilities to sort of to put it in a combat simulator for you or whatever. So that is good. That's a really good idea. Let's hope that happens. Because there's a few things with stuff like that. I mean, there's a few.
Hopefully, we're not making it too lofty. Like,
but there's a few like mad theories that we had going into it and during the game as well that we like that were wrong, but that we felt would have been good. And I think your theory of, I actually think your theory is going to end up being right. And I think as we were playing through the game, we were sort of like, no, it's wrong. Or when it first started, so your thing of the live stream. It's all in the live stream. It's all the Zach and Earth comes together. I think that is like what's going to happen. I think, and that for me as well, that's what I'd want from the third game. So the most important things for me going into the third game, outside of the gameplay, the reason why I love Final Fantasy is the characters and the story. So the things that I'd personally want to see is Zack and Aerith reuniting in the live stream.
Like we've got Zack and Cloud in Rebirth, and like really that's not the reunition.
But that is cool.
Yeah, no, it is. It's very cool. But it's not what I wanted to see. I wanted to see Zack and Aerith like finally get back together.
In the live stream as well. And I think all this thing where it's like all multiple worlds and all that, I think that will sort of be resolved as no, it's not multiple worlds or multiple universes. It is just the dreams of the live stream. Which is set in the original and set in Cosmo Canyon in Rebirth as well, and Sephiroth sort of alludes to it, I think.
Well,
he does literally say these different worlds coming and going, but why are they coming and going? Why are some of the less on and why? And I think if we get like a reasoning of it's the live stream, because speaking of that, Zack's world as well is one of the things that I sort of, like I noticed with it, is the people who are in it. It's like, why is it Biggs? Yeah.
It is Biggs, isn't it?
It is Biggs, yeah.
I'm sure it's Biggs.
Yeah, his name's Biggs. I get mixed up with Biggs and Wedge.
Biggs and Wedge,
because
yeah.
Wedge is big. So
Yeah,
confuses
I know,
me.
yeah,
Biggs is
yeah.
big. No, yeah, so yeah, it's Biggs. So why Biggs? Why Kyrie? Like, why are the specific people
So
that are in it?
the only thing I've got a problem with is the inclusion of people like Kyrie and Marlene, with my theory about it being in the live stream.
Well,
like,
I think so. I think it's the whole live stream dream thing. I think, well, Edith said herself, it's a dream, isn't it?
Yeah, yeah.
And then if you think about the people that are in it, she would have met Biggs because he worked with the kids, didn't he? He was in Sector 9 doing stuff. Kyrie is in Remake. She would have encountered.
She's there. Yeah,
She's there. So it makes sense that she's in it. She lives in that sector anyway. Marlene is obviously someone she encounters. And I think that's what you'll get, the timing of all this happening, because Marlene and Biggs being in it, if there's a sort of maybe a symmetry there with if encounters Marlene just before the plate gets dropped in Sector 7. That's when Big dies. So there's maybe something like a thread there. Yeah. But I think that's a sort of clue maybe is that it is going to be the whole. It's not alternate universes as such in a Marvel sense. Well, it's more a Buddhist sense of like.
It's like what that one NPC says, literally.
In Cosmo Canyon.
Yeah, where it's like when you die, like you don't. Like you kind of live out your dream.
Yeah.
And then I suppose, like in a way, if it is like the live stream and it's like all about reincarnation and stuff like that, isn't it?
Yeah.
I suppose like one way that I was viewing those worlds, especially state worlds, which some people think every date option is a different world, which I'm kind of subscribing to, or whether it's all just one world.
Yeah.
Like, but it seemed like everyone in that world that you interacted with they were there because they had unfinished business.
Yeah.
But they were finishing the business.
Yeah.
And is that why?
Yeah.
Is that why the world collapses? Because then everyone who's there finishes the business and then gets reborn somewhere else. You know, like it's kind of like a way for them to pass on with no
regrets,
no unfinished, like no unfinished business, no regrets and stuff. And like only when that happens do you actually pass on.
Yeah.
And like
the way limbo, innit?
Yeah, and the way that's represented is the world basically ending, which is horrible to think about. But like that must be the way that it is in that world. Like.
Yeah.
Which is like it's fun to think about.
Yeah.
But like I don't know how to wrap that up.
Yeah.
Because like again, like Marlene and Kyrie aren't dead. Why are they in these life streams?
But again, it's not about people who are dead. I think it's just
memories of people.
So it's just people and also people who make sense that it
so
is.
Do you
it's
think
the area? So I think Edith's dreamt it up, and she's obviously dreamt a home.
Well, that's what I was going to say. Do you think that these live stream worlds are purely a construct of Earth?
Both Earth and Sephiroth. Well, I don't know. I think initially, the initial one is Earth.
Yeah.
So the one that you play as Zakin at the beginning from the end of the remake. I think it's Earth, and again, it sort of goes against the theory. Well, she doesn't die at that point, so why would she have the dream thing? But I think she's obviously got something where she's in control of the live stream in some way.
Well, I mean, it's looking like you can kind of be in between two with Cloud at the minute, seeing the.
It seems to be Earth and Sephiroth, doesn't it? Who are sort of got the ability in whatever way to create new realities. Which then goes back into the whole theme of it. With Cloud
again. A
massive theme of the original game is Cloud and reality.
And another theory I've got is the reason that we're getting so much emphasis on Zach at the minute, because Zach is now gaining the ability to change reality as well.
Yeah.
That's how he's able to run away from his death all the time and stuff like that. Why maybe he was able to go to the edge of creation. Yeah. Like maybe there's something about edge of creation that like
it is.
Does something to people, but like
like I think with the definitely that, like with the reality thing, it's the main theme of the game, reality. It's identity, isn't it? So like, that is the biggest theme. And Cloud in particular, like one of the things that enhanced the sort of the storytelling and characters for me was when I played Crisis Core.
Yeah.
So I didn't play that until...
Love a bit of Crisis Core.
Yeah. And so I played... So to give a timeline, like the context of me going into it, I played Final Fantasy Remake in September, completed it in October. Not remembering what happens next. So I knew bits of the game and like certain things, areas where you go, but obviously I hadn't played this since I was a kid. So once Remake finished, I was sort of not sure what happens next. I remembered the whole thing with Cloud and Zack, but I didn't remember specifics. So I remember Cloud's not who he is. There's a character called Zack that I think he's. Yeah. So I finished Remake and played Crisis Core, which obviously you wouldn't recommend anyone do if you haven't played the original or don't remember the original. But I remembered enough of it to not have the spoiler of, I know Cloud and Zack are the same sort of person, not the same person, but Cloud takes on Zack's side.
And I think after about a week of me telling you how much I loved Crisis Core the first time round.
So I didn't want to wait for Rebirth to play it, but I also didn't want to go back to the original to sort of play the next bit once it's a race for Rebirth. So I thought I played the Crisis Core reunion, and going into that I was like, so how are Zack and Cloud one? So that's what I didn't know is how that happens, and I thought it was some weird like fantastical thing that Zack gives Cloud his essence. Pulls his soul out of his body, and it's like, you know, it's the fusion, like Dragon Ball Z fusion almost. Do you know what I mean? Like Piccolo fusion with fucking Kami or something, and it's like, you know, he's still Piccolo, but his Kami's in him, and
he just like absorbs Zack's life.
I thought it'd be something like that, and what actually like enhanced it and what sort of cemented Cloud as one of the best characters ever written for me was that's not what happened. It's trauma. It's mostly trauma. It's obviously the Mako poison.
It's incredibly human as well. Like it's more of like a passing of a torch. Cloud's mind is kind of like fragmented everything. And like just literally just gone, well, I'll be him.
I'll be him. But like it's that, so it's the trauma of it, which I think is great. He hasn't been able to handle the death of his best mate. So it's just blocked out of his memory, which again is why the end of the Rebirth is so amazing as well. It's because you're seeing it from Cloud's perspective. All that's happened at the end of Rebirth is the same thing that happens at the end of Crisis Core, which sets off the events of Final Fantasy. Cloud cannot deal with losing people, and losing people who are close to him. So he goes, fuck it, it hasn't happened.
Exactly, and that's what I'm thinking. That's why he still thinks airlift's there.
But equally with that, which is like a really strong message that I got from playing Crisis Core as well, was so why can't Cloud do the things that he previously couldn't do after thinking he's Zack? It's alright, so he has been tested on for a few years of the Mako, he's woken up from that. But the main thing I got from it is that because he believes he can do all these things, he can do it, which is an amazing message to be like. So the thing that was holding Cloud back, the reason why Cloud couldn't become a soldier is because he didn't maybe believe in himself. He was a kid who had low self-confidence. He wasn't. He was
picked on. He was left out of the. Left out of the group.
He was bullied. He was bullied. He was a little weirdo kid and all that. He didn't have the belief to become a soldier. Then the thing happens with Sephiroth, which shows he's got that dog in him to be able to take Sephiroth on anyway, before any of the Mako infused stuff. And then because basically his mind's fucked as a result of that, he no longer has that sort of lack of belief that he can't be a soldier. What I mean. He is a soldier.
It's even like cemented in Advent Children, where, like, you know, the first fight against Sephiroth, well, the first half of the fight against Sephiroth, like, you know, he doesn't really believe that he can still do this and stuff. He's getting absolutely battered, and then like finally he's like, no, hang on, I've done it before, and I can do it again. And all of a sudden just absolutely clowns Sephiroth, like out of nowhere, like beats him easier than he's ever beaten. Like, and that is like the whole like self-belief thing. Like that is like, if Cloud had a superpower, it's that. It's like a double-edged superpower. Like, if he doesn't believe in himself, he might as well just be a like sack on the floor somewhere. But if he does believe in himself, it's like he can do anything. Which is like, it's a lovely message.
Perfect message. It's a perfect message. And then like what enhances his belief in himself, or what enhances it, is the people that he's got around him, and the connection that he has with people. Because there's that like cheesy thing at the end of Advent Children, isn't it, as he beats Sephiroth, where he says, you don't get it, do you? Like, I care or I love everyone, kind of thing. Yeah. Which is again another great message, and again that's why I think the story's so good. You've got the setting where like the world's ending and all that, but it's like it makes you care. It's not just like, oh, the world's ending, you should care because the world's ending. It's like, no, look, there's like things we're fighting for and all that type of thing. And yeah, like you say, part 3, I think it's going to wrap everything up. I think part 3 is going to be like just emotional from like the first minute. I think because it's going to be interesting to see where certain things come in. Like, where is that bit with the live stream bit with Tifa? When will that happen? Because it's going to kick off straight away, surely, because you're going straight to. You'd imagine you're starting at the Icicle Inn.
Well, probably, yeah. Although I think that like I've said to you, haven't I, that I reckon we'll probably start at Wutai. I reckon they're probably going to get that out the way pretty early, because like, I think something's going to go wrong with the tiny Bronco again, and we'll have to crash land somewhere. Now, whether that's the Icicle Inn or whether that's Wutai, I don't know. But I reckon there's scope there for them to change where we're supposed to be, you know. But who knows? Just because like the Temple of the Ancients has changed location as well. So like that massively kind of, well, it doesn't massively need to change anything, but it does change things. And like, yeah, like, because I'm struggling to think how you would fit Wutai in after things start going wrong, you know what I mean?
The only thing I'm thinking, unless they have Wutai, is just being when Cloud says to everyone to go and find out why you're fighting, you just go with Yuffie, but I think you'd have to go with the team. But I also think as well, you've got to get to that bit relatively quickly, because Cloud's going to be a villain for a while, basically, isn't he? He's going to be not there and a bit mad. So it's like, how long do you want to have that for? Like, how much of the game do you want Cloud to be like that, or do you want it to be for pretty much all the game and it's just the end, or like 3/4 of the game, and then the last quarter Cloud's, you know, back to himself, which I think probably. I'm
really hoping not, because I was saying to you, like, you're on all those bits where Cloud is just being basically Sephiroth. I didn't even want to play, but I was like, I don't want to take control of you right now. Give me someone else. Because
I think it's I don't know. I think I either way, I think I see arguments for both, and it's also almost be happy either way. I think the downside to, if most of the game Cloud is in that state before the live stream where he's a bit mad, then you miss out on a lot of lovely character moments. Probably, unless you just give him moments, which I don't think would. I don't know how that would work. You miss out on a lot of character moments, but then the sort of payoff then when he does end up thinking is bigger, because you spent so much time with him being a bastard. But you do it the other way, where you sort of deal with it relatively early on or halfway, and it's like, right, okay, he's all good now. But I don't know, I think you'd have to do it late on. I just think you'd have to do it late on, because once he's okay, it's the Let's Mosey thing. And it's I think you'll get like another Trials type bit where it's like everyone goes off, does their own thing, and you might play as each one and have like a couple hours with each character to do whatever, to figure out why they want to fight, and then you basically go into the end of the game, aren't you? So I don't know.
But that's what I mean. Like, I think they're gonna fill in that space a lot more, especially with like weapons and stuff like that. Like a lot of this is gonna be filled in. But
it's also places we need to get in, isn't it? Like Rocket Town and that wasn't.
Well, that's what I mean. Like, I reckon we're probably gonna have something go wrong with the tiny Bronco before we get to the Icicle Inn, and we're gonna end up either in Wutai, crash somewhere near the Icicle Inn, or we'll have to make a pit stop at like Rocket Town, so that Sid can do his thing and get us wherever we need to go. So like that, because that's the only logical way to fit it in. Like, but
there's also like there's big bits like going back to Midgard now as well, Tifa and Barrett, or parachuting back into Midgard. There's
all these bits I've forgot, but you haven't, because you've played more of the original than
I haven't got to that bit yet. It's just because I think I just watched videos and stuff. I remember that bit, but Yeah, where they get captured by Shinra and that. So that, like, all that's got to be in it. There's a lot of games to get in it.
Yeah, no, there is.
Because we're only at the end of disc 1 from the original, aren't we? There's 2 more discs to go. And I know a lot of this are cut.
Disc 3 is basically just the final battle. But
it still feels like a lot to get in, and a lot to get in a good, doing it in the right order.
Yeah.
And, like, obviously with Cloud being a bit messed up, it's sort of getting that well.
One to possibly end on. Final question, right? What do you reckon the ending's going to be like? Do you think that they'll stick with the Nanaki looking over the lost civilization of Midgar again?
I don't know. I think I'll be happier than the original ending.
Well, do you want to make it happier, don't you?
Yeah, I think it'll be clear because obviously off the back of that you've got Advent Children, haven't you? After the original, so I think they'll have like a nice happy ending. I think they'll have like a proper lovely ending.
See, I think they'll still end on Nanaki looking over the lost civilization of like Earth, basically, because I still think that's a lovely ending. It basically means that after everything that everyone's gone through. And like, like Cloud making his own reality and stuff like that, that's a really lovely, like, personal story. Yeah. But at the end of the day, like, after all said and done, the planet was still alive, and if anything, it was thriving. Yeah. And I think that's like a lovely little thing to be like, it, like, no matter what, it endures. You know?
The planet itself.
Yeah.
Well, it's like real life, isn't it? It's like we might end up like wiping ourselves out, but the planet ultimately will. Well, I don't know, maybe be alright. Depends on how we wipe ourselves. If it's climate change, then a few hundred years the planet will be alright again. But like, if we do it via nukes, I don't know.
It'll find a way, won't it? But what a lovely way to end.
I know. Well ended. Well, there you go. Episode 2 done.
Episode 2.
Yeah, there we are.
The rebirth of the podcast. Because we basically trudged over episode 1 stuff.
Yeah. Bye.
Bye.